What if the internet never existed? If the internet had never existed, the modern world would be unrecognizable. Our societies would still rely on physical connections, letters, landline phones, and printed media to share information. Globalization would have moved far more slowly, and the speed of communication between countries would remain measured in hours or days, not milliseconds. Political decisions, wars, and negotiations would still depend heavily on television, radio, and face to face diplomacy, rather than instant video calls and global networks. Economies would look entirely different. Tech giants like Google, Amazon, or Facebook would never exist. Instead, physical stores, newspapers, libraries, and television channels would dominate culture and commerce. Shopping would mean walking into a store, browsing catalogs, or calling by phone. Banking would be slower, relying on paper checks and physical transactions. Stock markets would run by phone and fax, with fewer trades happening per second, and far less globalization in finance. Education and knowledge would progress in a slower, more uneven way. Without online courses or digital libraries, people would depend on local institutions and physical books. A person's access to knowledge would be limited by geography, and only those near great universities or libraries would have wide opportunities. This would create greater inequality between regions, slowing scientific collaboration and discoveries. Social life would be radically different. No social media, no instant messaging, no memes, no viral movements. Friendships and relationships would depend on proximity, phone calls, and letters. Teenagers would hang out at malls, arcades, or parks, not on TikTok or Instagram. Celebrities would rise through television, newspapers, and radio instead of viral videos. Entire industries like influencers, streaming, or esports would not exist. Entertainment would remain dominated by cinema, television, and print. Without YouTube or Netflix, people would gather around televisions for scheduled programs or buy physical DVDs and CDs. Video games would exist, but multiplayer would be limited to local connections, LAN parties, and split-screen gaming instead of massive online worlds. Culture would evolve more slowly, with fewer global trends and more regional traditions dominating identity. On the other hand, privacy would be stronger. Without constant data collection, digital footprints, and surveillance, people would keep more control over their personal lives. Governments and corporations would have less ability to monitor citizens, but propaganda would still flow through television, radio, and print media. The absence of the internet would also reduce cybercrime, online scams, and digital warfare, but espionage and physical infiltration would continue as before. In this alternate world, the pace of human progress would be slower but perhaps steadier. People might be more grounded in their local communities, less distracted by digital noise, and more dependent on face-to-face interaction. But the global exchange of culture, ideas, and opportunity would be smaller, leaving humanity more divided by borders, languages, and distance. The story of humanity without the internet would be one of limitation and locality. The world would feel bigger, slower, and less connected. Innovation would exist, but without the web tying us together, the dream of a truly global society might never fully arrive.